Hello, thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. Today we're going to do a flow kind of based around the ego. I know yesterday actually I kind of came into full contact with the ego, mainly about my body image, how I'm kind of feeling in my body, I guess, how maybe my body's changed over the years, and still trying to figure out that whole relationship. And yeah, I think for me personally, something that's really helped me along my own journey with managing my kind of own body insecurities and self-esteem and everything like that is definitely yoga. So I'm really hoping that it can kind of help you and support you through your own journey as well, if that's something that you're going through. And specifically this practice today we're going to do hopefully shows you that when the ego shows up, it's okay, it's normal, we're all human, but we don't have to listen to it, we don't have to give in to it, we can accept us for who we are in that moment, be proud, look back on everything we've accomplished, look how far we've come, and yeah, just really have that compassion and love for ourselves. Okay, so today's practice, we're going to start. You can come into a kneeling position like I am, or you can sit cross-legged if that's more comfortable. Let's place our hands down on top of our knees and close our eyes here, tuning in to our body today, to our mind today. Noticing how we're feeling, just taking a few minutes out of our day just to really be still, be silent, connect with who we are and what we need. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest as you're breathing, just trying to take the breaths in and out of the nose through today's practice. Nice big deep full breaths here. One big deep full breath for me. Just noticing if the mind is already starting its narrative, trying to tell you some things that aren't necessarily true, guide you in a different direction. Just acknowledge it, be still, let those thoughts pass. Okay, let's gently blink open the eyes. Inhaling, arms go up above our head, palms touch. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, opening up to cactus. Shining our heart and chest up to the sky. And exhaling, rounding forwards. Imagining we're hugging that giant beach ball. Let's go again. Inhaling, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling, open up to cactus. And exhaling, rounding, hugging that giant beach ball. Really feeling that opening across the back body. Bringing that energy back in. Relaxing down. One more time. Inhaling. Arms go up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling, opening up to cactus. And exhaling, rounding, holding here. Let's interlace the fingers. Flipping the palms, pushing that energy away from the body. Feeling that nice big stretch all through the back of the chest. Chin to chest. Flipping the palms back together, bringing the energy in towards the heart, feeling that self-love. Closing down the eyes, just take a moment here. And release, relax those hands down. Let's take our hand over to the left side, inhaling up the right and doing a gentle side bend over to the left. Really thinking about rotating that chest up to the sky. Inhaling back to center, taking it over to the other side. Arms go up and long before we bend it gently over. And inhaling back up to center. From here, let's lift ourselves up, coming onto our knees. So if you're not on your knees already, bending out our left leg to the side. Inhaling, arms go out to a T. Exhaling, leaning across to that left side, that long leg extended. Breathing into the side body here. Feeling the lungs expand as we inhale and exhale, releasing down. Okay, let's inhale, coming back into our T position, and then we're going to fold over to plant our right hand onto the floor. Inhaling, arms go up, straight up above our heads, and exhaling over to the right hand side. So we're in this kind of modified side plank position here. Breathing here. Excellent. Let's rotate our body to the short end of the mat, stepping that foot back and just coming into a plank pose. So here we just want to make sure that we're pushing down away from the ground. Shoulders are engaged, core is engaged, bottom is slightly down. Breathing in and out the nose here, maybe shifting forward and backwards. Lighting up that inner fire. Showing who's in control of the ego. But noticing if the ego is fighting, then surrender. Relax the knees down. Shift our bottom back to the heels and calming down into the child's pose. Inhaling, gently calming back up to center. Hands on top of the knees, relaxing shoulders down. We're going to take it to the other side now. So just bring your knees to face the long edge of the mat, just so you have a bit of space. Sending that right leg out long, lining ourselves up, taking those arms up to a T, and gently side bending over to the right. Gosh, I always have to think so much about my lefts and rights here. Breathing here. Coming back up to center. Let's plant the palm of our hand onto the floor. Sending that arm out long above our head. Pushing away from the ground. Engaging our core just to stabilize us. We didn't do it on the other side, but feel free just to lift up that leg if you want to play a little bit with your balance. But if the ego is telling you that you should do it, then please don't do it. Do what feels right. Do what you really, really need today, not what you feel you should do. Kneeling down. Let's spin ourselves to the short edge of the mat. Stepping again back into our plank pose here. Making sure our foundations are really nice and strong. Imagining our heels are pushing against a wall behind us. Switching on our core, our inner fire. One big full breath here. Relaxing those knees down. Sending our bottom back to our heels and coming into our child's pose. Gently lifting our head up, walking our hands back to our knees, tucking under the toes, lifting the hips up. Rolling vertebra by vertebra, coming up to standing. Take a few shoulder rolls here. And if you're not already, just gently walking to the top of the mat, short edge of the mat. Toes together. Arms go up, palms touch. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Stepping back with our right foot. Coming into our high lunge, bending that front knee, sending the arms up above the head, opening the arms up to cactus, heart shines forward, feeling nice and strong and firm into those legs, releasing the hands down, clasping the hands behind us, gently opening up the chest. Now that might be enough for you here today, just getting this nice chest opener. If you want a little bit more, just folding ourselves forward over that front neck. And you want to make sure that your chest is going to the inside of that bent knee in the front. Breathing here, breathing into the times of tension, the wobbling, sending the breath into those areas, into those thighs that maybe are starting to burn. Releasing those hands down, framing that front foot, pushing off into that front foot to lift up the back leg, coming into our standing split here. Our chest, opening the hip up to the side, down towards that standing leg. Bending the leg that's up in the air and gently sending it on the diagonal behind that standing leg, coming down to sit onto your bottom. So we've gently made ourselves come into Ardha Machinasana, our seated twist. Inhaling, arms up to the sky, and exhaling, rotating over to your left. Keeping the spine nice and long here. On the inhale, looking for length, and exhale, just gently twisting a little bit deeper. Making sure our seat bones are nice and grounded here. You can just hug this knee in to your body. You can use your elbow to push away, but sometimes it's just a little bit too forceful and we kind of lose the integrity of the pose if we do this. So I quite like to just hug that knee into the body, just allowing for a softer opening, especially when I'm battling with the ego who's telling me I should be doing a pose a certain way. It's just a softer entrance to get the same effect. Okay, releasing that pose, calming back to center. Let's release both legs down, swing them round, pushing back up to a downward facing dog. Just walking out the dog here, maybe it's the first one you've done of the day. Bending one knee and then the other. And then finding a moment of stillness. Pushing those hands down into the earth, shoulders away from the ears. Hips go up to the sky. And heels gently draw down to the ground, but do not worry if they don't touch. Let's look in between our hands. Take a soft bend in the knee, and you can walk or gently hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, arms go up halfway. Exhaling, folding down, and inhaling, coming all the way back up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center, relaxing down. Let's take it over to the other side. So we send our arms up, bringing the energy down to our heart, sending our left leg back to our high lunge, bending into that front knee. Inhaling, arms go up above our head. Exhaling, open up the cactus. Holding here for a moment. Breathing into the wobbles, breathing into the burn. Releasing those hands down, interlacing those fingers behind us, gently rolling our shoulders back, opening up that chest a little bit more. Again, just feel free to stay here. Super, super good. You're getting so many benefits from this pose already. If you want to explore a little bit more, then gently tipping our upper body over that bent knee, trying to keep our hips in one line, making sure the chest falls down on the inside of that bent knee. Breathing here. Noticing the difference from one side to another. I feel like this side's slightly wobblier today. Just being okay with that. Coming back up, lifting that chest, planting those hands down, framing that front foot, lifting off the back leg, coming into our standing split on the other side. Opening up the hips a little bit, just seeing if you can get that back leg a little bit higher. Breathing here. Okay, bending in that back knee, sending it on the diagonal behind that standing leg, coming down to sit coming into our Matsyendrasana, our Ardha Matsyendrasana. Again, just making sure our bottom is planted down into the ground. Inhaling, arms up to the sky, sending that length. Keeping that spine in one nice long line. Not jamming and forcing the neck at all. The twist is actually led from our sternum. So we want to only really move our neck as much as the sternum is. We don't want to force our neck around. Good job. Okay, coming back to the front of our mat, releasing those legs, swinging ourselves around and coming up to our downward facing dog. Breathing into our body, noticing all the extra space that we've created. Doing any movements that you feel is necessary. Wiggling the hips from side to side, bending down the knee, or simply just staying in stillness. So rare that we actually just stay still. The ego always wants us to do more. But sometimes we just forget how to just be. So just take this moment just to be. Okay. Let's lift our right leg up to the sky, sending it up above our head, nice and long, opening up that hip, bending that knee, maybe taking some nice hip circles here, if that's available to you. Sending it up long, bending the knee back into the chest and bringing it forward, coming it into our pigeon pose. So we want our knee close to our right wrist, flexing the foot to protect the knee joint, sending that back leg nice and long. Now, pigeon for me is a really good test of the ego, because supposedly a perfect pigeon is that the bent leg, so for instance the right leg we have, should be perpendicular at a perfect 90-degree angle. Now, I really don't know many people or even super yogis who have that level of flexibility in the anatomy. So please just work with your own limitations and do not worry if that leg, that right leg, is at a perfect 90-degree angle. What we really want to make sure is that our hips are in one line. You can slide a pillow underneath your right glute just to support a little bit more if you feel you're going over to one side or the other. Inhaling, let's lift the chest open and then gently walk ourselves forward over that leg. Again, feel free to use as many props as possible just to make sure you're really getting the best out of the pose. You can put pillows under your chest. You can put a block under your head or a book if you're doing this at home. Whatever you need. Maybe today you just want to come down to the elbows, or you even just want to stay up on the hands and you're feeling like this is a good enough stretch for me today. Brilliant. Just work with your own needs and your body. Coming into the stillness, coming into the silence. Sending the breath into those tight places. Good job. Just gently bringing our head back up, walking the hands back to our body, shifting that weight onto the right side, sending the left leg long, coming into our asana, so the sole of the feet goes to the inner thigh, flexing the foot, inhaling, sending ourselves up to the sky, and exhaling, just gently folding over that straight leg with the flexed foot, letting our hands fall where it feels comfortable today. Let's just take a softer version, so we gently bring the chin to the chest, relaxing the forehead down, letting yourself surrender. Okay, coming back up to center, bringing your body back up to that seated position. Let's cross our legs, put our hands down in front of us, and step it back to our downward facing dog. Ready to take it over to the other side. Inhaling, sending that left leg up to the sky, opening up that hip, bending that knee and taking those hip circles, if that's working for you today. Sending that leg nice and long again, bending in that knee up into the chest, and then lining it up behind our wrist. Sending that back leg long and straight down beside us, making sure we're nice and level in the hips, using any props you feel is necessary. Breathing here, lifting the chest up, and then gently walking ourselves forward, if that's where we're going. Relaxing our forehead, chest down, or just staying up on the elbows.
or even up on the hands. So many options for you. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Making sure we're just flexing that left foot, just protecting that knee joint, and calming back to the stillness. Gently bringing ourselves back up, walking the hands to our body, shifting the weight over to the left, taking that right leg long, sole of the left foot to the inner thigh, inhaling, lengthening the body, and exhaling, folding forward, flexing that foot, surrendering the arms down to the ground. Maybe gently tucking that chin to the chest, allowing the forehead to relax down. Bringing our body back, walking the hands to our body. Let's plant both soles of the feet onto the floor and gently rolling down, calming to lie down onto our back. Sending the legs out long, arms go down by the side of the body, palms facing up, feet fall out to the outside, legs about mat width or even a bit wider apart. Surrendering ourselves down to the earth. Calming into our final pose, Savasana. Feeling our body heavy, melting down into the ground. Knowing that there's nothing else we need to do right now. And nowhere else we need to be. We are exactly where we need to be today. Please feel free to stay here as long as possible. But if for whatever reason you need to move on, then gently start to bring some movement back into our fingers and toes. Maybe rolling the head from side to side. Bringing in the knees into the chest. Give yourself a huge big hug. Rolling over to one side. Just pausing here before gently pushing yourselves back up and calming back into a seated position as we started today's practice. Maybe keeping the eyes closed, a few releasing breaths. Taking this time to thank yourself for dedicating this time for you. Tuning into what you really need and letting the ego go. Thank you from me for sharing your time and your energy here together. Hands together in front of chest at heart center. Gently tuck the chin down. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really hope that this practice benefited you. Maybe you came into contact with your ego and it kind of showed you some ways to manage that. And I hope that you have a really great day. And yeah, hopefully come back and join me again really soon. Thanks so much. Bye.